What 2024 flop could you see becoming a cult classic in the next 10 years? All right, I got 10 biggest flops, screen rant. That's the list I'm looking at. Call this segment, Will It Become a Cult Classic? Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. I think this will always have a dedicated fan base of people that dig it. Simple fact of the matter, it's Guy Ritchie. He already kind of has a built-in fan base. Plus Henry Cavill, plus Alan Ritchson killing Nazis. There's something about that that'll always be kind of one of those movies. Oh, did you see that movie where Henry Cavill kills the Nazis? It'll always be that. Full-blown cult classic? I don't think so, but I think people will enjoy it. Joker, Folie, Deux. This one will... I don't think you'll call it a cult classic, and I don't think you can call a movie that costs $200 million a cult classic when its lead character, it's a follow-up to a movie that made $1 billion. It's not in that category. But what's going to happen, and you've seen it a little bit already, what's going to happen is there's going to be a bunch of people doing, let's reevaluate the Joker 2. Was it really that bad? They're crazy ads that make it look like we're all like tripping out, like it just glitching out on us when it's just sitting there. They're going to reevaluate it. Joker 2, why it's better than you remember. Joker 2, how we got it wrong. It's going to be on all of those lists. There's going to be a bunch of people that are always going to be like, no, they told me it's Joker movie and it's not Joker. Come on now. It's a musical. What are we doing here? There's going to be so many pieces that are so condescending and so pretentious about how awesome it is in just a few years. It is a prime candidate to be reevaluated by a segment of the internet. The Apprentice. I think this one has cult classic possibility to it because it's a movie that legitimately just made no ripples when it first came out, releasing a Donald Trump villain origin story right before an election. People that don't like Trump don't want to watch it, and people that like Trump are like, I see what you're doing here, and people in the middle don't like gimmicks. They don't appreciate the fact that, like, right, Hollywood is putting out a movie anti-Trump. Like, I don't like Trump, but I don't like this either. So I think it was that's going to always be off-putting. But Donald Trump is just such a lightning rod for attention, and has such a crazy life. President twice, lost once in the middle, shot during there's one of these ones that people are going to be like, they actually made a movie about Donald Trump and Sebastian Stan plays him. And this is a movie that I think absolutely has cult classic potential because it's interesting subject matter. I have my issues with it, but it's interesting subject matter. Two great performances, one of them from a big, gigantic movie star. And it's about someone that there's going to be continued interest in for a long time. All right, next up. Here, this is the Robert Zemeckis film that's like a Forrest Gump reunion. This just didn't make any splash. I think this one's just disappearing. And it's going to be one of those movies like, oh, wait, they did another movie together? And everyone's just going to forget about it. It just made no splashes. And there's just not enough there that I think to do anything with it. Saturday Night, absolute cult classic potential right here. Totally different reason, same ballpark as The Apprentice. It's Saturday Night Live. So that's an institution of late night television for 50 years. And this is the story of how the institution was back when it was the disruptor. How did it become the institution? Where did it begin? And for people that like Saturday Night Live, classic Saturday Night Live, it's like a must watch. But because of marketing, because of the way people watch stuff, it got lost. But this is a movie that its target audience loves. So I think this has great cult classic potential to it. Horizon and American Saga Chapter 1. I think we got to find out what happens with Chapter 2 and Chapter 3 or however many chapters. But Chapter 2 is already shot. So if it could get some traction, I think this one could get some traction because it is Kevin Costner. It's a genre that's underserved, and they released it at the wrong time. Like, I wanted to watch it. I was excited about it, most anticipated, and I didn't watch it because it came out at such a busy time, and then they canceled the second part, so then it became like, I don't know, I'm just not in a hurry to watch it. And I think that, like, if it pays off, or maybe what happens, they release it on streaming. You put this on, what is it, Paramount, where Yellowstone is at, whichever streaming service has all the Yellowstone stuff, and you make a mini series out of Kevin Costner in a real Western that he shot it, that's like streaming gold right there. If you can arrange that, like, you make the deals on all of that to make it happen. So I think there's some potential right there, if depending on what they do with everything else. Fall Guy, I don't know that I'd call it a cult classic, because there's a little bit too big of movie stars. This is going to be a home video hit. This is one of those movies that the people that you date night with your wife, you just want something with movie star charm, a little romance, little action, little comedy. It's one of those movies. So I think this one's going to play great on streaming. It's just one of these movies that people love to just check out. Furiosa, Mad Max Saga. Not tough to call. I mean, I think it's going to be, it's one of those movies that people will check out and go, oh, that was actually pretty good. Mad Max people check it out here that just skipped it in theaters will go, that's pretty good. Yeah, it was delivered the chaos. I think it's weird. It's a Mad Max movie without Mad Max, but hey, it's got the action, and Anya Taylor-Joy, Chris Hemsworth, they're a lot of fun. I don't know if I'd call it a cult film when you're talking about a 45-year-old franchise, but the originals were cult films because they were micro budget, or not, very low budget films for their time, the first two. And then, by now you can't really call it a cult film if it's a, movie stars, gigantic budget, long form franchise. Once again, I don't think you can call Transformers 1 a cult classic because it's Transformers. There's nothing cult about that. But another one that I think will play great with kids. It'll have a long history on streaming, on home video, everything like that, because it's really good and they market it horribly. Last one. What is our last one on here? Final film. Megaopolis. No, this one's dead on. Like, this is not going to be a cult hit film. It'll be this one might be in the same category as Joker, of movies that get people to, pretentious people on the internet to reevaluate them in a couple years. Like, you guys actually got it wrong. Are we willing to admit all of that stuff that Twitter loves to do? There will be so many reevaluations of Megaopolis in the coming years. And some of that I can respect because it's a true artistic vision from a visionary director of the past. That doesn't mean it's good, though. So I get where they're coming from, but also not. Fun question, Dalen. That was one when you first asked, I was like, what's my pick? Why don't I just pull up a list and do something fun with that? Most of these clips are pulled from my Patreon live streams. I do about 6 live streams every single month. For $2 per month, $20 per year, you can get access to all the exclusive videos and live streams. For $5 per month, you get your name on my end card. At the top tier, you get a 30-minute video chat with me each month. The link down below in the description has more information.